So I figured an introduction results may be in order. Bear with me, this may get a little rambly. My name is Art Kozolski. I've been working in the game industry since 2001 when I had my first internship. Since that time, I've worked on games big and small. Afterburn on the PSP, Brutal Legend, Uncharted 3, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, just to name a few. I also art directed the canceled Lords of the Fallen reboot, but I can't really talk about that, NDAs and such. Most recently, I art directed Linked Banner of the Spark. In that time, a couple of things occurred to me that kind of planted the seeds of starting Second Breath Interactive. The first one was a sort of observation that a lot of games seem to be kind of chasing this, I guess you would call it like maybe an investor sort of mentality of what they think is going to work best to make the most money and reach the most players. A content treadmill of 50-hour plus gameplay campaign or tons of player skins and tons of weapons, things like that. The second thing was a bit more serious. 2023, on Christmas night of all nights, I suffered a massive Widowmaker heart attack and ultimately cardiac arrest. My heart stopped twice, and the second time I was told that it stopped for 10 minutes altogether. I basically died, and it's sort of a miracle that I'm here even talking to you right now. I like to say that I came out of it with a sort of renewed vigor and lust for life. And trust me, I'm eternally grateful that I'm still here and happy to keep on living. But what happened was I came out of it with something far more sinister, which was severe anxiety. And I worked through it, went through my recovery, continued to work on Linked, which was a great therapeutic thing for me to bury myself in my work while all of this recovery was going on. Then we shipped the game in 2025, and our game, while really well reviewed, didn't really hit the mark financially, and ultimately myself and my team were laid off. So I found myself at a crossroads during a time of unprecedented chaos in the game industry. We're going through a crash that I don't think anyone has seen since probably the 83 crash. And so I asked myself, do I try and rejoin another game studio and work on someone else's passion, re-enter this kind of gaming landscape where, you're trying to serve so many masters in terms of what's going to be the biggest seller, make the most money for investors, make the most money for the powers that be, or do I try and go it alone and work on my passion and try to make something that I want to see, which is a game more akin to what I grew up playing. So here we are, Second Breath Interactive. Now I say go it alone only figuratively because I'm joined by two dear friends and former Fuzzybot concept artists, Arthur Gorin and Elise Elsat. And I know I'm butchering her name. She's from Belgium. She told me how to pronounce it, and yeah, she'll forgive me. Our first title is The Beast That Follows. It's a game directly informed by my experiences with anxiety, how it feels like something is always there, waiting to make itself known at any given time, and I can't control when or where it'll show up. The idea for this game came one afternoon when I was talking with my fiance, and I was trying to explain to her how anxiety feels when you experience it, how all logic just goes out the window and you're left with what feels like a life or death situation in some instances. And if you've never experienced severe anxiety like this, it can be hard to understand how exactly that feels. And as I was trying to explain to her, I was thinking that what if there was a way to play a game and feel that anxiety while you're playing the game? Maybe then, just then, you could kind of understand what it's like. And that's the core thesis of The Beast That Follows. It's a game that I hope will help communicate this feeling of anxiety in an interesting and ultimately entertaining way that you come away from with something different and unique. And that's kind of the core ethos of Second Breath Interactive, is to create gaming experiences that come from someplace personal and not one that's kind of dictated by industry trends. Bold words, I know, but I mean, hey, if you're going to try to do it alone, you might as well try for something you really care about. Over the next 9 months or so, we'll be developing a prototype that I hope can lead to some funding so that we can actually bring this entire game to its fruition. I'll be sharing videos like this with less of me talking and more cool stuff to show, concept art, process videos. You can follow us on our socials, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube. You can find links to all those socials on secondbreath.net. So yeah, hope you enjoyed us. Hope I didn't ramble too much, and thanks for sticking around. Talk to you soon.